Some cry, some smile, some fight every day. We rise to the top, cause we know what it takes.
Miss Finance Specialist, Miss Harprit Gill.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, good afternoon.
How you guys doing today?
Good.
Nice
Blessed.
to have you guys here. I'm glad that you guys are here on a Saturday morning. You guys could have been anywhere else, but you're here to gain some knowledge, and that's so important. Before I get into what I'm here to talk about, which is money, money is important, of course, but it's not everything. But I want to talk about where I come from, how I got to where I got to, because I think it's really important to understand someone's background, and because it kind of helps build that rapport and that trust. So my background's Indian. I was born in India. I came to Canada with my mom when I was really young. We grew up in Jane and Finch, lived here, still live here. I started working in my community since I was about 15 years old, started volunteering, and then eventually got into doing after-school programs and coaching ball, and just kind of progressed from there. I never really saw myself going to university because I really didn't have the confidence when it came to academia. Sucked at school, barely could have read until I was in high school, so I didn't really think that university was for me. But once you graduate from high school, you start to realize that you're kind of stuck in this system where you're just slaving away for the white man, and you're just building his legacy. And I was getting sick and tired of that. I had dreams and aspirations, and as you get caught up in the day-to-day, lifestyle and just trying to earn a paycheck, that dream kind of vanishes away because you start to feel like it's not possible because you don't have the capital to do so. And although human capital is just as important because you need to leverage and network with people across and above as well, but it's also important to have some capital to be able to get us on a better playing field. So I decided to go back to school, ended up going to university when I was about 24. I graduated 4 years ago, and while I was in university, I was kind of tampering with entrepreneurial ventures. So I was helping one of my brothers, Chris Blackwood, with his clothing line called Grand Slammers. And we also started up a nonprofit organization called Helping Neighborhoods Implement Change, where we did a lot of work in the West End. And at that point, I was still getting frustrated because I didn't want to be a part of the system. And when you're part of the system, you start to realize that, you're kind of confined by the boundaries of what the system tells you you can and cannot do. And what I really wanted to do was have freedom. And what I realized, the only way to get that freedom is to have money, so that way no one can tell me what I can do, how I can do it, and which way I need to do it. So when I graduated from university, I wanted to learn more about home ownership, mortgages, business loans, and things like that. So I went to my bank, and I made an appointment with a financial advisor thinking I'm going to get some good gems. They turned me away in 30 seconds, told me to come back when I had about $60K in my bank account, and that's when they'll offer me some information. And I was like, I always knew that the system was designed for us to fail, but I didn't know that the same bank that I put my money in every month, every week, every paycheck, is not going to give me the information that I need to be successful. So I got frustrated, went online, tried to look information about how money works, and there's just so much information out there. It's really hard to decipher what's real and what's fake, right? I was fortunate enough, a year later, I met a financial advisor, and through her, I learned so much. And I started to realize, I kind of stayed away from this industry for a very long time because I didn't think I was great in math. But what I come to realize that financial literacy has very little to do with numbers, and it really has everything to do with rules and navigating the rules in the system so we can win. Because that's what these people are doing out here. They're navigating all the rules, they're not paying taxes on things, they're getting away with murder, and we need to learn how to do the exact same thing for our community so that way we can actually build generational wealth, because that's why we're stuck in a rut, because we're not passing on our wealth and our resources to the next generation. So as I was sitting there with my advisor and I was looking at her, I was working 5 jobs at the time, trying to build money to make my down payment for my first home. I said to her, I said, Sylvia, how did you get into this industry? Because I feel like my people need to know this. I need to go back out and teach my people this stuff. And she's like, I'm so glad you asked, because you need to learn how to work smart and not work hard. And she kind of showed me the ropes on how to get my license and things like that. So I've been an advisor for a year now. I go around my community, I go to different nonprofit organizations, schools, and so forth to kind of educate young people as well as adults on how money works, how to build wealth, and how to sustain it. What I really want to talk about today is really consumerism, because that's what's killing us. We're the biggest consumers in the world, and we do little production, right? I was watching an interview the other day on YouTube. This guy who's one of those app developers in Silicon Valley, and if you guys don't know where Silicon Valley is, that's where all these developers are breeding all the stuff that we're consuming, and they were saying that they don't allow their children to get access to any platforms on social media or any devices to social media. And that made me think like, okay, these are the same people that are creating it, but they're not giving it to their children. Why? Because they know how damaging it is for us and how much it's going to really destroy the next generation. And here we are just clicking away. We can't even pay attention for 2 minutes because we just need to know what's going on. We're so caught up in the hype, and then we just kind of destroy ourselves, right? If you guys can all pull out your phones and go into your notepad section, because this is a little activity that I want us to do to kind of give us an eye-opener. Because we don't think about retirement. And when we do think about retirement, we think it's so far in the future that we don't really need to pay attention to it. And on top of that, we think that we have to retire at 65. Why should we have to retire at 65? I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to retire at 65. I want to be able to live free at a lot young age than that. No? You guys agree? And guess what? The retirement age is going to change. By the time it's already shifting to 67 in a couple years, right? After that, once we get to the age of retirement, who knows? It might be 70, 80s. I have a lot of clients that I'm sitting down with now who are in their 60s and 70s and are now thinking about their retirement plan, which is crazy. The life expectancy for a woman is 84. And if we retire at 65, maybe 70, that means we really only have 10 to 15 years of freedom, and that's only if you have the money to actually do what you want to do after retirement. Or else we're going to be sitting at Jane and Finch Mall, looking at people walk by, hoping that we can go on vacation and do what we want to do. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. So what we're going to do is on your notepad section of your phone, you're going to put 6 steps down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So what you're going to do as step number 1 is write down the age that you think that you would like to retire. Don't worry about if it's realistic, if it's not realistic. Just whatever age you feel like you want to retire at, I want you to write that down. So step number 2, what you're going to do is write down the annual income that you would like to have after you retire. Okay? So how much money would you like to have on a yearly basis after you retire? Right now, they say to live comfortably, you need about $70,000. So think about the future. Inflation is going to go up. Cost of living is going to go up. So you're going to need more money than that. Now, you guys got step number 2? Yeah? Okay. So step number 3, what you're going to do is you're going to take your life expectancy age. Okay? For females, it's 84. And for men, it's 79. And you're going to minus it by the age that you think you'd like to retire. So number 3 is going to be you take your life expectancy. So for women, it's 84. So it would be 84 minus the age that you'd like to retire. And for men, it would be 79 minus the age you would like to retire. Okay. Everybody has that? So step number 4, what you're going to do is take the annual income that you would like to have after retirement and multiply by the years that you have left after you retire. So that would be the answer you put for step number 2 multiplied by the answer you got for step number 3. So you're going to take the answer you put for step number 2, which is the annual income, and multiply by the answer you got from step number 3. Everybody got that? Okay. Is it a big number? It should be a big number. It should be in the millions. So what you're going to do for step number 5, just to take this a step further, you're going to take the age that you would like to retire and minus it by the age you are today. Whatever the answer is, that's how many years you have left until you decide to retire. Okay? Everybody got that? So for step number 5, you're gonna take, so step number 4, you're going to, no, 5, you're gonna take the age that you would like to retire, minus it by the age you are today. And the last step, what you're gonna do is take that big number that you need, the amount of money that you need to retire, and you're gonna divide it by the answer you got from step number 5. Everybody got that? Whatever the answer is for step number 6, that's how much money you need to be saving on a yearly basis until you decide to retire, to be able to retire at the age that you desire to retire at. Now, I can almost guarantee that most of your answers are probably more than what our incomes are, right? And that's sad. That's why we need to get out of being employees for people, being slaves. We're in modern day slavery right now. We need to stop being slaves to other people, and we really need to get into ownership, because that's where it really is at. Once you have a business, you can write off a lot of things. You can shelter your money from a lot of things that you're paying taxes on, right? That's for one. And 2, there's no caps on how much you can make. I don't know about you guys, I work hard. And when I'm working hard for someone else, they're making quadruple the amount of money that I'm making. So if I can work as hard for somebody else, then why can't I put the same effort into myself, into my own dreams, and make more money than someone is gonna tell me I can make? Can you go to your job tomorrow and say, guess what, I'm trying to buy a home, so I need you to increase my income to $100,000. They're gonna look at you and they're gonna laugh, and they're gonna probably tell you to get out of their face. But you don't have to worry about that when you're working for yourself, right? So this is something that we really need to start thinking about. Where is our money going? We're putting our money back out of our community. We're not putting it into our community anymore. You know what I mean? So we need to start supporting each other, support our businesses, build our own businesses, and get out of being a consumer. Because when you decide that you're gonna be a consumer for the rest of your life, you're gonna be 70, 80, and you're not gonna be able to retire. You're gonna literally work till you die. Anybody have any health complications? You don't have to answer this question. This is something that you can even think in your own head. I think about I had surgery on my knee from soccer like years ago, and I think about when I'm here in the winter, how much my knee hurts, and I'm like, God damn it, I need to retire in a hot country. But how can I do that if I don't have the money? I'm gonna have to stay here, wrap up my knee, ice it up every day, hoping that things are not gonna go left. You know what I mean? These are things that we shouldn't have to worry about. When you have the finances to actually get yourself out of that situation, there's so much things that we can do, right? So I really encourage that we start thinking about where our money is going, because minimum wage is $14 an hour right now. It takes an hour to make that $14, but it takes 2 seconds to spend it. So really think about where your money is going. Stop living for Instagram. Stop trying to impress people, because you're trying to impress the same people that are just as broke as you are or in worse situations. Why are we doing that? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. So we need to get out of this lifestyle of trying to impress everybody around us and really level up and change our perspective. Forget the money, because it's your mind where it needs to change first. Once you can change your mind, you can change your pockets, because money is currency. Once you can change the currency of your mind frequency, you're already putting yourself on another platform, on another level that your money, you're already gonna attract more money anyways. So I actually have another workshop coming up on June 29th, in a couple weeks. It's right around Dufferin and Finch. If you guys want some more information, you can follow me on my Instagram. It's Harprit, Harprit, Gill, Gill, it's all together, _ You need to register to get into that event because there's only limited spots. But I do host at least one free financial literacy workshop a month. I'm trying to get around and impact and educate as many people as possible, because we really need to start thinking differently and keep our money in our pockets instead of making other people rich. So thank you guys so much for your time.
Every day we rise to the top, 'cause we know what it takes. Through it all we survive, yet still hold the faith.